Hi everybody, it's Sasha. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome to my YouTube channel. I cannot take myself seriously saying that. I was just crowned Miss Utah 2021 a couple weeks ago, and this video I'm going to be doing a quick question and answer. Actually, it's probably not going to be quick if I know myself well, but I will be doing a question and answer video and hopefully answering all your questions about Archive Sunday and Noble House of Black and Miss Utah. That's it for the intro. Let's just get straight into it. Okay, first question is, how did you get started into pageants? So I first competed when I was a teenager in the Miss Utah's Outstanding Teen program. I definitely do not come from a pageant family by any means, but when I was a teenager, I had a good family friend named Ellie Smith who went and competed at Miss Nevada's Outstanding Teen, and she ended up winning on her first try. And I remember at that age looking at Ellie and thinking, hold on, this is a talent. I do have a talent. I'm a singer. And an interview, I can totally do an interview. An onstage fitness demonstration, I could totally do that. And if you compete, then you can win scholarship money, you can make friends, and it seemed to be really exciting and a really cool opportunity. Furthermore, I think I've talked a little bit about this, but not a lot about it online. When I was a teenager, I was tremendously insecure. And really, I think when I first got started in Miss Utah's Outstanding Teen, it was because genuinely I was looking for validation. I think at that age, I really just wanted somebody to put a crown on my head and tell me that I was pretty, because I was dealing with such severe body image issues and such severe insecurity. And I ended up competing, and I didn't win. I didn't even get close to winning, but I absolutely loved it. I had the greatest experience. I made so many friends, and I grew so much in my confidence and as a person, and I really felt like I found my niche. I found my thing that I wanted to continue in. So that was my first experience. I went back and did Miss Utah's Outstanding Teen again, and then I waited a little bit. I went and worked at Disney World, and then in 2017, I believe, I came back and competed for the first time at Miss Davis County. And I ended up not winning the first time that I competed at a local. I got first runner-up or first attendant, and I served as first attendant for a year, which was definitely very helpful, I think, and very important for my development as a title holder. After working for a year and really getting more in touch with myself as a competitor, I came back and competed again for Miss Davis County, and I ended up winning that time. I won Greater Salt Lake on my second try competing at that local. Then we had the COVID year, so I held the title of Miss Greater Salt Lake for 2 years, and then finally competed at Miss Utah 2021, and I ended up winning the title that year at Miss Utah. So as you can tell, it was a really long journey getting there. This is something that I hope to go into more depth and detail in other videos, but it was about 7 years of competing to get me to the point that I am now. Okay, this person asked, I'm not from the United States. Can you explain Miss Utah and Miss America? So Miss America is a scholarship competition for young women between the ages of 17 and 25. And not a lot of people know this, but Miss America is actually the #1 provider of scholarship money to women in the world. It's a massive organization that promotes professional development skills and community service in young women. So you compete at your local, which for me originally was Miss Davis County because I'm from Davis County in Utah. Then once you win your local title, you're able to compete at the state level. So Miss Utah or Miss Alabama or Miss Arkansas. Then you're able to go on and compete at the Miss America competition. At all phases of competition, there are 5 areas that you compete in. #1 is a private interview with the judges. It's 10 minutes long. Then you have an onstage question, a social impact pitch where you share your plan for what you would do with the platform of Miss Utah or Miss America. You have evening wear, and then you have the talent competition, which is what Miss America is most famous and most known for. What do you do now that you're Miss Utah? That's a great question. So during my year as Miss Utah, I would say that I have 3 main jobs. #1 is to promote what's called my social impact initiative. When you interview for the job of Miss Utah, you give the judges an essay that outlines your pitch for how you would use the title of Miss Utah to do good in the community during your year of service. So my social impact initiative is called Rise for Refugees, Refugee Inclusivity, Support, and Education. And the focus of my year as Miss Utah is to promote and support local nonprofits here in Utah that are working to support our refugee community after they've been settled into our state. Utah is very lucky to have about 60,000 refugees that call our state home, and we have a number of incredible nonprofit organizations that are doing wonderful work here in Utah to support this community. Some of the organizations that I'll be supporting include Utah Refugee Services, Women of the World, Their Story is Our Story, and Movement on the Ground. I'm going to be linking some links to these organizations in the description of this video, so if you're interested in getting involved with the refugee community, you can go check out those links. Second thing that I do as Miss Utah is I promote and support the Miss Utah and Miss America organization. My job involves working with a lot of sponsors for Miss Utah. It involves building the business side of Miss Utah, doing social media work and public outreach. And then my third job, the one that I probably take the most seriously, is to be a role model in the community and an inspiration for other young women in the program. Miss America is not a beauty queen. She is a humanitarian. She is a The competition has evolved so much over its 100-year history, and today I would say the main job of Miss America is to be a humanitarian, a social entrepreneur, and an inspiration to young women across the country. I was thinking of running for Outstanding Teen next year. How do I prepare for any question? I think they're asking about interviews specifically, and here's my piece of advice. I purchased online the ability to stream previous Miss America interviews. And if you go to the Miss America website, you can buy the top 12 interviews. And for me, I think studying those interviews and going question by question and thinking about my answers, that really helped me understand what I should be focusing on in my interview prep. The other thing that I would recommend is to utilize podcasts and YouTube to listen to other people talk about the news. I find that it helps me in my preparation more if I watch on YouTube or listen on podcasts to hear how other people that are professionals talk about current events, because it just makes it easier when it's spoken out loud instead of reading it and then trying to synthesize it. The other thing, to be perfectly honest, I feel like I really shine in onstage question, but it's because I have a background in high school as a debater and doing mock trial and Model UN. So if you're in high school or you're a teenager, I'd honestly recommend getting into some kind of public speaking, whether it's debate or Model United Nations, because those programs really helped develop my skills as a speaker, and I think that they set me up for success, definitely in the Miss America organization. Okay, this is the question that everybody wants to know, which is, when is the next episode of Noble House of Black coming out? And my answer for that, honestly, is that I don't know. It will be as soon as we are done editing the episode. Now that I'm Miss Utah, I don't work and I don't go to school, so Miss Utah is my full-time job. Since Noble House of Black is already completely filmed, I'm still going to be releasing the episodes, but all of that has to come second to my job as Miss Utah. And to be honest, I just have not had a lot of free time. So I will be releasing the second half of the duel as soon as I can. And then as for the rest of the season of Noble House of Black, what I'm planning on doing right now is waiting until the entire season has been edited and then doing a live premiere event called the House of Black Gala. The way that that will work is that people will donate to support our local refugee community in exchange for coming to the gala. We'll have a recommended donation at the door. And then after we've done the gala and the premiere event with the whole cast, then I'll go back to releasing episodes 1 week at a time, but that's several months away until after I've finished the entire season. And again, I don't have a lot of free time with Miss Utah, so if it takes a little bit longer, I apologize, but right now Miss Utah is my #1 priority, and that has to come first. How do I get a successful social impact initiative off the ground for Miss America? I love this question, and here's my advice. Whatever the topic of your social impact initiative is, I would start by doing hours, probably 5 to 10 hours of in-depth research about what is already being done in the community for your social impact initiative. It is not helpful to reinvent the wheel. That is going to be so much more work than finding local organizations that are already operating and then finding ways to fit yourself in and fill the holes. After you've done a lot of research figuring out what's already being done in the community, I would then go to the contact pages for the different organizations that you think you'd fit in well with and send them an email that basically says, "Hi, I'm Sasha. I'm currently serving as Miss Utah. These are my skills. My skills are public speaking, social media, photography, events. I'm good with kids. I'm helpful with organization." So list out what your applicable skills are and then send them an idea of what you'd like to volunteer with or how you think that you could fit yourself in and be involved. If you're very clear about how you can be involved and what skills you have that will be helpful, I think you're way more likely to get a response from the organization and way more likely to find events. The other thing that I do is I frequently look up just nonprofit events that are happening in my local community. So I will go Google Salt Lake City events or Utah events or Davis County events and send emails to the organizers of whatever the events are. I just use a template for every email that I send when I do outreach. I hope that makes sense. That's my best advice, is to just get connected with the nonprofit organizations that are already working instead of trying to completely reinvent the wheel and do something new. Okay, somebody asked, are you going to make another Harry Potter series after the Noble House of Black? So Noble House of Black, I think we will do one more season. I would like to do season 3 as a series of short films that are, maybe 5 to 7 minutes long that feature each of the family members coming to the completion of their character arc. For me, the arc of Noble House of Black as a series is following the demise of the house itself and following the demise of the family. So for me, the ending point of the story happens when Narcissa and Andromeda split ways for the last time. Sirius's arc will end when he goes to Azkaban because he's never reunited with his family after that. Regulus's arc ends at the end of season 2 when he passes away, obviously. Bellatrix's arc will end when she goes to Azkaban after the First Wizarding War. So the ending of the series will be at the end of season 3 when Andromeda and Narcissa split ways. I would love to do a Sirius Black project somewhere in the future that focuses a little bit more on the Marauders era, and I also would love to do a project with the Hogwarts founders someday. The other project that we've been talking about that I think is more likely is reimagination of the ending of Game of Thrones. We've talked about recasting the Stark family and recutting the last maybe 4 or 5 episodes of Game of Thrones to sort of reimagine how that series could have ended, particularly with handling Daenerys' storyline. So definitely there will be more fanfiction projects in the future, but not until after my year as Miss Utah, and I think that we might venture out from the Harry Potter universe a little bit and go into some other fandoms. Look how cute this is. Sorry y'all, got interrupted. Also, I changed to a black shirt. Favorite makeup look? Honestly, glam. I love full glam. I just barely got my makeup done by Samantha, who is the Miss Utah makeup sponsor, and she asked me like, what kind of looks do you want? And I was like, honestly, whatever you want to do, go crazy. Do big eyelashes, do full glam, because I feel like if I'm going to go to all the effort of doing a full face of makeup, I might as well make it be glam, you know? If you could only wear 3 makeup products for the rest of your life, what would they be? Winged eyeliner, foundation, because I do not have very good skin, and I think I have to do mascara. I could live if I had eyeliner, mascara, and foundation. I would be just fine. Top 3 books on your to-be-read list. Right now, I would say Throne of Glass is really high up there. Oh, and the Shadow of Bone trilogy. I think it's a trilogy, the Shadow and Bone series. I read the Six of Crows part of it, but I haven't read the rest of the Grief Shippers. So Shadow and Bone is on the top of my to-do list, Throne of Glass, and We Hunt the Flame. That's the name of the other one that I haven't read yet that I really want to. Are you dating anyone? Yes, I do have a boyfriend. His name is, I do have a boyfriend. I sound like I'm lying about having a boyfriend. It's actually really nice because he doesn't have any social media and I am always on social media. We've only been together for 4 months now, so it's pretty new, but we like Christian. What's your favorite song off of Speak Now? I love the song Haunted on Speak Now, but I was also a really angsty 8th grader and that's when Speak Now was big for me, so Haunted is my favorite one. Favorite basketball team? Go Jazz. What is your favorite thing so far as Miss Utah? Honestly, I've really loved attending the local competitions. This last week I went to Miss Millard County and Miss Bear River Valley, and Miss Bear River Valley is way up north, Miss Millard County is way south from where I am in Salt Lake City, and I had such a great time at both, just meeting the other girls, meeting their families, meeting their moms. I remember competing at locals and not winning, and I remember just desperately wanting to make it to Miss Utah and going through that whole journey and arc, and so it's really rewarding to watch other young women that are in the same phase of life, and it's fun to be able to talk to them and cheer them on and be like, no, keep going, keep working, because this program did so much for me to grow as an individual that it's really rewarding to watch other girls experiencing the exact same thing, if that makes sense. Who was your childhood role model and are they someone different today? My childhood idol is actually the same person. I love Taylor Swift. Love Taylor Swift. I've always respected her artistry, I've always respected her creativity, and she has an incredible business mind and an incredible understanding of how to use media to forward and articulate her universes. So definitely Taylor Swift has been a lifelong role model of mine. Another woman that I really look up to is Malala. She is a Pakistani activist and an advocate for girls' education and the right of young women around the world. Malala was 17 years old when she was specifically targeted by the Taliban for her advocacy, and at 17 she was shot in the face by the Taliban because of her outspokenness and because of what an incredible advocate she was being. And the resilience of this woman, she has survived that experience. She has gone on to be the youngest Nobel Peace Prize recipient in history. She went to Oxford. I fangirl over Malala like nobody else. I think she is so incredible and just everything that a woman should be. So definitely she is one of my role models, and then Taylor Swift is another one of my role models. This is a really good question. How can you be and stay so confident in yourself, like appearance-wise too? Share your secrets, LOL. You know, every time that I get a question or a comment like this, I kind of don't know how to answer it, because I think that there is this impression online from women especially that I am just so confident in myself, and I've always been so confident in myself, and that is really just not true. I'm a really confident speaker, so I think that when I articulate myself and whenever I'm in new groups of people, I might come across as confident, but I was a very shy child, and I was very insecure all through my childhood, all through my teenage years. To be honest, my entire life I've struggled with different forms of eating disorders, anorexia, bulimia, anxiety, just generally body dysmorphia, and just really struggled with my mental health through, more than a decade of my life. There were times when I was a teenager where I couldn't even look at a photo of myself because I would just be so mean to myself and pick apart every single thing about my appearance. One of the things that I think has helped me develop more confidence in myself is getting to a point of, what I like to call, or has been called, body neutrality, which is where I try to think about my body as being the least important thing about myself. My confidence comes from my mind, it comes from my creativity. I always felt like maybe if I ever reached a certain weight or if I reached a certain achievement, that then I would be confident, and I found that that's just running on a hamster wheel. If you want to feel good about yourself, you have to make the decision to invest in your own mental health and to invest in being kind to yourself. I also spent the first 3 years that I competed in Miss Utah, my social impact initiative was called Girls Empowered, and my focus was on working with adolescent girls to help build confidence between the ages of 8 and 14 years old. And I actually felt like God led me to having that as being my social impact initiative, because it was messages that I needed to hear. I needed to learn how to talk to myself positively. I needed to learn how to engage in practices of self-care rather than practices of self-harm. And I think that through learning more about why I became insecure as a young girl and all of the societal pressures and the internal pressures that led me to being so hard on myself, unpacking all of that information and learning more about the science behind confidence and the science behind insecurity, all of those things have helped me get to a point where I genuinely do feel like I love myself and I enjoy my life. What inspired the name Archive Sunday? I love answering this one. Archive refers to things being recycled or like coming out of the archive, and then Sunday refers to the fact that we do a new product drop every single Sunday night. And honestly, when I came up with the name, I was just sitting thinking to myself, I thought, what should the name be? And Archive Sunday is what just popped straight into my head. So first idea that I had, and we just ran with it. If you don't mind me asking, are you a Christian? I don't mind you asking at all. Yes, I definitely am Christian. Okay, there are a lot of questions about my tips for small business owners, and my tip is more practical than anything else. Invest in learning photography. I would say that for any small business, particularly one that operates online, having good photography is absolutely the key to having successful marketing and successful media. And photography done right is very expensive. So when you're just getting started as a business owner, being able to do your own photography is incredibly helpful. In the early days of Archive Sunday, I did all of the photography myself. So every t-shirt I went and shot in my basement, or every photo shoot of a collage wall, I would stage the collage wall in my room and shoot the photos. And having a background in photography and being able to produce and edit my own images, my own content, my own commercials, that saved us thousands of dollars early on in the business. And then my other tip, and this is more about your social media marketing for a business, is that you should find a way to be creative and tell a new story. I see so many videos on TikTok that are just duplicates of trends, where they will just see a video and copy the trend exactly. And I have found that I've been able to build an audience so much easier, and I have content do so much better when it's original ideas, my own audios, my own stories, my own words, my own thoughts. Those videos just perform better. And so whenever I make content, I try to think, how can I make something new that's never been seen before?